What's up, guys, and welcome back to the F1 Manager career mode. It has not completely died and gone underwater. It is here. I just had a few issues, obviously, with the weather and everything, just completely roasting my PC, so it was kind of hard to get anything done. But we're gonna be back. As you can see, it's like a 40-odd minute video. I think it's gonna be maybe 30-odd. Who knows? So we've got a few races in here to try catch up on the week that we've missed out on. As you can see here, we got a regulation vote for financial changes. This would not benefit us at all, so we're obviously going to vote against this and hope that it goes our way. Obviously for the new season, this will be for. But hopefully we can make a bit of a gap on Haas. I think our gap is currently 8 points, so hopefully we can extend that a little bit further as we go into Q1 for Singapore. And here we are with Lewis Hamilton already pulling out a red flag, absolutely smashing it into the barrier. Yeah, he's not particularly happy with that, as expected. But yep, Hamilton out, and Albon goes quickest. And somehow Russell's 55 seconds slower, but we come out P12 and P16 after everyone's first run, so onto the second run here for our Q1 runs. We got Albon improving in the first sector, Théo Pourchaire not improving in the first sector, but to be fair, he's got about 4/10 gap to the drop zone there. But here we are, slightly getting held up here. Obviously, this is the new layout of Singapore, but as I was watching this Singapore race, wait, I'll get onto that in just a second. As Albon comes across the line, gets P14, Théo Pourchaire just not improving at all, and he should stay P12. But yeah, as you can see, both of us just making it for Alex Albon P15, Théo Pourchaire P13, Alex Albon improving. Well, I say improving, this is their first Q2 runs, but as you can see in the top right, there's 60% of rain in 2 minutes, so this is pretty much our only runs, and we jump Hulkenberg and De Vries, but we're just not able to make it into Q3, as you can see the rain pouring down there. P12 and P13 is where we will stay. It actually goes down to full wets as well, weather, and it just rains even more, so we're never ever going to improve that time. But yeah, with the new layout, with that with the final corner to that new improved part, the braking just doesn't seem to be alright, and you'll see here in this race as we go into 5 red lights here at the Singapore Grand Prix. And here we go then, P10 starting and P12 for Alex Albon and Théo Pourchaire here. As we dive into turn 1, P10, Théo Pourchaire P13 now for Alex Albon, just so slow coming out of these corners, but we're putting the fuel to max and we're deploying the energy, but it looks like the Haas here, Kevin Magnussen really fighting for that P12 ahead of Alex Albon, but decent little start. Don't want to roast his tyres too much. Théo Pourchaire starting on used softs, so he'll definitely have to box quite early as we simulate a little bit as the Red Bulls fighting for position. Perez makes the most of it, but Pierre Gasly doesn't, crashing with his teammate, it seems here. Currently P8, but then just takes the exit way too wide, smashes into the barrier. And as you can see, he is absolutely not happy with that. But then we get what we have been getting every bloody race that we've had Théo Pourchaire, and that's an error. Fighting with Kevin Magnussen, and then they just stop. So I don't actually know if that was an error from Théo Pourchaire, but he's dropped all the way down to P18. P9 now, after a few stops for Alex Albon, and then the VSC is out. And look, as you can see there, Lance Stroll is out of the race. Let's have a look at what's happened here at turn 7 now. It's the teammates again. And wow, what a smack into the barrier. That was quite similar to what Lewis Hamilton done. If anything, incredibly more aggressive into that barrier. Yeah. Oh, it appears that the Undertaker has joined the Aston Martin garage there. But yeah, so that's an extra position for us. But it's another incident here at Singapore. Yellow flags are out. Riding on the curb is Guan Yu Zhou. And then I don't know. And that's Teo Pourchaire right behind him as well. I have no idea what just happened there. But, yeah, Alfa Romeo won't be happy with that, and neither will we. Red flag is actually out. P15, P18, not what we want. Just getting our second stops out as well. Obviously, just replaying the Guan Yu Zhou crash. But, we have come out absolutely unlucky there, which is really, really unfortunate as we go into 5 red lights once again. At Singapore, P15, P17. We're both putting on the hard tyres for the remaining 27 laps of this Grand Prix. And trying to be aggressive, using the deployment.
Can use the overtake.
But I don't know if this is just how the game is, but on every start where you can see you can make some sort of overtake, it just almost doesn't want to. It almost just gives in straight away, and it's just really, really frustrating to deal with from this first lap. And yeah, it's a frustrating thing to deal with, but it is what it is. Gasly then overtakes Alex Albon as well, and it's just not great. And it's a safety car. Safety car is deployed. It looks like an issue for Esteban Ocon, maybe. Esteban Ocon is out, and he's crashed into turn 13. Another issue for the Alpines. And look, he just completely locks up, and then he just smacks into the barrier on the exit. And yeah, that's Esteban Ocon out, and once again it's just completely pitch black in this pit wall. There's got to be some lighting issue there. P14 then, and it's another virtual safety car. Who is it this time? Is it Nick De Vries? It looks like Nick De Vries and Yuki Tsunoda here. Another issue with teammates colliding into each other. We've had the Alpines, we've had the Aston Martins, and now we've got the AlphaTauris taking each other out. And it's just, I mean, you'd think it would help us a lot, but if we look here, once we skip these replays here, P12 and P14, we're getting closer, but Magnussen being in P9 isn't really helpful. And that 10-second gap, obviously not helpful. But to be fair, we've got the safety car right now, so that should benefit us. People boxing, Verstappen boxing, Leclerc boxing, Perez boxing. You're going to see a lot of drivers boxing here. We're still undecided of who we want to box here. Do we box Albon? Do we box Teo Pourchaire? Do we box neither of them? Like, it was kind of hard because obviously overtakings were super difficult here. So maybe we stay out, maybe we don't. But I feel like the advantage on the softs might be just too superior to staying on these hards. But I think we're going to end up going on to the softs for Alex Albon once we make that decision anyway. But yeah, it's just decisions like this where we need to make the most of, you know. In reality, obviously, after making certain decisions, I 100% would have changed a few things for the better. But yeah, here we go. Going on to the softs there for Alex Albon, thinking that we'd use that to our advantage. They're not fresh softs, unfortunately, but yeah, it's not amazing. We're gonna save on the we're gonna harvest the battery as well. We're actually gonna keep Teo Pourchaire out, and he actually goes all the way up to P8 on the mediums, not the hards for Teo Pourchaire, which is why I was more inclined to box Alex Albon. But yeah, like I said, so Teo Pourchaire P8, Albon P14. But this is our chance to make the most out of this opportunity with Teo Pourchaire. With only so many laps to go, 14 laps to go. of this race, as the safety car takes a while to come in. We get the battery up, we get everything ready to go, and hopefully we can take advantage of this. Obviously looking through the tyres, safety car is ending. Here we go then, at the lights of Singapore. Can we do this? Can we take advantage? Can Théo Pourchaire get his first points for Williams? Finally, is this his time? Is this his time to shine? He's right behind Piastri as well, who technically has a worse car than us right now. But let's find out here as we go green. Théo Pourchaire P8. He's going to have to hold off George Russell and Lando Norris. Already going defensive here. Trying to hold off George Russell. Isn't able to really make ground on Piastri. But to be fair, he is 6 tenths behind now, but George Russell 2 tenths behind. The DRS is going to be absolutely vital. And look at this. Théo Pourchaire actually able to make a lot of ground here on Piastri. I don't know if he's making any sort of error, but you have to remember when DRS arrives that Théo Pourchaire's getting, Piastri's getting absolutely none of it. Already 2.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez now. You'd think he's going to be a sitting duck, but another sitting duck is this Williams apparently. As first of all, we're still losing time to Piastri. We go defensive. It's George Russell still looking for a move, unable to make any sort of move, but look at the train. Look at that train. Alex Albon unfortunately isn't able to make any sort of move despite him being aggressive on everything bar the tyres. But look at this, it's Lando Norris. George Russell going at it. Lando Norris taking full advantage of George Russell being unable to make any sort of move on Théo Pourchaire. 10 laps to go. Can we keep it together? And look at this. Russell's actually under pressure from Kevin Magnussen here. DRS is enabled and Lando Norris goes down the inside. Able to make that move super easily. And now we're down to P9 already. We've only got 10. We've still got 10 whole laps to go. And as soon as DRS arrives, Lando Norris is already by us by the first corner. And so here we go, George Russell. We've already lost 1.5 seconds to Lando Norris. That is the difference between the softs and these used mediums here. George Russell pushing and trying to find a gap here to make some sort of move on. Théo Pourchaire isn't able to make any move as we go on here. Alex Albon trying to fight it out with Nico Hülkenberg isn't able to make a move. He was side by side at one point. It's telling us that Hülkenberg actually overtook Alex Albon. But we need to make these positions. This is where Alex Albon needs to really show off the pace on the softs here. And look at this, George Russell eyeing up a move, goes down the inside, and it's just so easy. As soon as they're through, you're never seeing them again. And George Russell was always going to be the one driver out of all of the people behind us who was always going to make a move. But as we go on here, Pierre Gasly looking for a move, then he gets the move as well. And then we have this. VSC is out, and so is Théo Pourchaire. Crash on turn 13 here, and
here we are then looking at turn 12.
It's just unfortunate. Little lock up there. Absolutely smashes into the barrier, and it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate, and yeah, because of that, Magnussen gets P10, gets a point for his team, and we're unable to make any sort of progress despite there being 6 cars out. We're unable to make any sort of advantage.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
And realistically, it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Like, we should have taken full advantage of this, but we just didn't. But something to note on is Lando Norris getting P7. Lando Norris securing, I believe that's 6 points, if I'm not mistaken. 6 points for McLaren, which is absolutely huge for McLaren, because that starts to bring them into the fight here. They're actually already 6 6 points behind Haas. McLaren's closer to Haas than Haas is to us. So Haas need to keep an eye on that one, because it's going to damage them if they don't. They're going to catch them off guard, and then they're going to lose position instead of try gain position. But here we go, regulation results there. Yep, helping us out a little bit there, and we had the inspection as well. But here we are, looking to go at Japan. So here we are in Japan, already into Q1 here, and starting off, Alex Albon,
P1.
132, which is not amazing, but to be fair, those were on the inters. But we're gonna expect more rain soon here, with Alex Albon on the softs, trying to take advantage of this little gap. 5-second difference is outrageous, but obviously, as expected, Albon and Porsche both improving. P9 for Alex Albon. What can Teo Porsche provide? It's P14, 4 tenths away from Alex Albon, but we're both into Q2, and hopefully we can improve our pace here in Japan and not end up like Singapore. But once again, into Q2, 2 minutes before light rain, so we need to get these laps in now, now more than ever. And here we go, obviously improving. Alex Albon only 7 tenths away from Fernando Alonso, which in my eyes is actually not that bad. Teo Porsche 3 tenths behind Alex Albon. P5 at the moment for Alex Albon, but Verstappen, Russell and Stroll still yet to make their times, as we calm down a little bit on pretty much everything, trying to save as much as we can. But yeah, P8 and P5 for them so far. Teo Porsche goes into the drop zone. Albon actually going faster than Leclerc, and that obviously means that Teo Porsche is out because of the rain coming in. But rain expected once again. Track conditions changed to damp, but at the end of Q3, it's completely dried up here. P9 so far for Alex Albon, and Sainz has finished his laps, and he's still in P10, so guaranteed at least P9. A lot of drivers have crossed the line. Battery starts to die on the final couple of corners, which is a shame, because I mean we would have jumped Russell, so that would have been P7, but unfortunately we weren't able to get P7, but we were able to get P8, which is, to be honest, more than enough. Super nice to get that. Lance Stroll will be getting his penalty as well, so I do believe that we'll be starting at P7 here for Alex Albon and P10 for Teo Porsche. Medium soft for Albon, and medium soft for Teo Porsche. They will both be using used softs at the end of the race, but it still should be a good race for the Williams today, hopefully. But here we go into 5 red lights at the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go here. Alex Albon, as I say, going to be starting P7, Teo Porsche P10. Hopefully going to make some moves early on, as we put the aggression on and everything on for this race. But as we switch back here and on board with Alex Albon, hopefully able to make some moves here. It's going to be doubtful that we make any sort of move, but we're going to try to go around the outside of George Russell here. He's on the softs, we're on the mediums. Doesn't look like we're going to make that move just yet, but it might be a move we could make in the future here, as long as we're able to hold on. Teo Porsche, though, able to make the move on Carlos Sainz. He's up into P9. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Teo Porsche, and hopefully we can push on for some good points here. Both drivers in the points, but it's just a matter of keeping it together and making the most out of this. But yeah, Teo Porsche and Alex Albon just pushing on, trying to keep within touch of George Russell and Pierre Gasly, who's having a fantastic weekend so far. But as you can see, the rain starting to come down now, and we're gonna actually box them early here. Both drivers, we're gonna double stack here at Williams. Hopefully it's going to pay off. Normally it's quite slick, but this time it's not as slick, and we're actually held up again. But I'm adamant that we could have got ahead of Lando Norris at least for that. But look how quickly the rain's coming down, so staying out wouldn't have helped us at all. It was a risk, and both Red Bulls and Gasly took that risk. But we tried to see if we're able to make some sort of jump. We weren't able to. But this is nearing the end of the stint, and we're going to come on to the Inters. P9 and P12 right now. Carlos Sainz was able to make the jump on us, and so was Hamilton. Tailpucher drops down even more, trying to make the advantage of the Inters with 15 laps to go. Everyone starts to box now. Are we able to make any sort of advantage? Unfortunately, only 4 seconds. Well, I say only 4 seconds, 4 whole seconds behind George Russell. George Russell pits though. With 4 laps to go, he pits. He's going for the full wet. Carlos Sainz pitting as well. It is going to full wet weather. Russell took the risk, but we decided to stay out because I just felt like the gap was just, well, it would have been, too big to try make a comeback for. So Tailpucher P14 having a look at Yuki Tsunoda for P13 there. But Alex Albon currently in P8 now because of George Russell boxing there. George Russell will try to catch up. Yellow flags are out. Not sure who for. But it's a Stroll lock up. Stroll's locked up. So he was catching us. But him locking up has just pretty much secured us. P8 here. But we're going to ride on board with Alex Albon with 3 laps to go. Hopefully we'll have an onboard here of Tailpucher as well. 16 seconds. What a performance from Alex Albon. P8 so far. Another 4 points looking to come our way. But we're going to go on board here with Tailpucher with this rain coming down. 4.5 millimeters of rain is absolutely crazy. These Inters should be okay with them. It will be a struggle, but it should be fine. But look, we're gaining. We're unable to make any sort of move into the final couple of corners here. But can Tailpucher with the straight line speed of the Williams, he's just unable to gain. He's just unable to gain any significant amount. Even with the deploy, even with the push on the tires, the push on the fuel, we're just unable to make any sort of progress here. It's just a shame that we just haven't got Tailpucher to that level yet. Or is it the car that's not at that level? Who knows? But we're just going to be pushing and pushing and pushing. 2 laps to go then for Tailpucher to make any sort of difference here. We're comfortable with Alex Albon. Russell's actually pressuring Lance Stroll. And I think Stroll's actually gained like 1.5 seconds on us already. But onto the last lap. Looks like Verstappen is going to cruise to victory as expected. But coming out the last couple of corners here, we're actually going to run out of VRS, I think. Yeah, we completely run out of VRS. And it just doesn't look like we're going to make any sort of move. But we have to be careful of Esteban Ocon and Hulkenberg, who are right behind us. But we need to take a moment to just appreciate Alex Albon and the work he's been doing for us. It's just absolutely phenomenal stuff. And honestly, we wouldn't be in the position we are now if it wasn't for Alex Albon. He's absolutely carried us to where we are right now. And with Magnussen P12, Hulkenberg P16, it looks like it's going to be another 4 points coming home to Williams here. As the flag is out, that is P8. And that is brilliant. P14, no for Tailpucher. Everything is being used. Absolutely everything. But it's just not going to be enough. 5 tenths back, is he able to send it? He gets close. He gets so close. But it's just not enough. Tailpucher unable to surpass Yuki Tsunoda. And fair play to Yuki Tsunoda for holding off 3. You're holding off the Williams, the Tailpucher, the Alpine of Ocon, and then actually I think that was Hulkenberg in the Haas. But a 4-point advantage to the Haas, which is exactly what we needed. And 27 points now. 27 points now, which is exactly what we want. And yeah, 11-point advantage is absolutely perfect for us. Because let's be honest, we are not seeing Haas gain 11 points on us anytime soon, especially with the number of races to go. And here we are, round 18 for Qatar. What a session we've had so far, you know. A few points here and there. I say a few points here and there. 4 points at Japan, and then a struggle at Singapore. But as you can see, they're second in the high speed, 11th in medium speed, 8th in low speed. So there is some sort of improvement there. And as we look at the driver development as well, 87 reactions, 85 adaptability for Alex Albon, and defending has gone up +2 as well now, but it was still on 63 overtake, and no wonder why he couldn't get past Yuki Tsunoda. And Frederic Vesti there also improving in a few stats there. Smoothness is up by 1 as well for Théo Pourchaire, which is good to see. Control, it seems to be okay as well. But yeah, just really trying to compare these drivers, because Frederic Vesti are definitely one to look out for. But here we are in Qatar then. Purple sector 1, obviously for Théo Pourchaire. But here we go on our first lap in Q1, and Théo Pourchaire's going out doing donuts. I don't know. It's like I said, it's not a weekend without Théo Pourchaire, you know, not making a mistake. However, I don't think he actually made one at Japan, to be fair. I feel like he personally just was mugged off by the pits, and he just lost out because of it. So to be fair, Théo Pourchaire wasn't his fault last race. But here we are then, P14 and P20 as expected for Théo Pourchaire with that spin. But Hulkenberg's, I think that was Hulkenberg, slightly blocking Alex Albon as he crosses the line. Can he improve? Oh, he does. P13, Théo Pourchaire takes that P13, but Norris unable to improve, and both AlphaTauris unable to improve as well. But here we are, P14, P15, really struggling on this track, unable to really take advantage of anything here, and it's just, we crossed the line. It's P11 for Alex Albon. Théo Pourchaire then about to cross the line, unable to make any sort of influence, but we actually dropped down to P12 because of Esteban Ocon. But I was completely surprised by this, because I completely forgot about it. But we're actually gonna do a sprint here at Qatar. It should be a fun one. Qatar sprint. We're gonna go for the mediums because of how quickly those softs die. We want to make the most of it in the final stages here. The start might be a little bit ropey, but we'll try to take advantage near the end of the race. But look at this already. Hulkenberg already making a move on Alexander Albon, coming into turn 1. Théo Pourchaire P15. Losing position, but look, yellow flags are out. The yellow flags are out in sector 2. Nico Hulkenberg, I think, has got himself a penalty. Is that Nick de Vries with an issue there? It might be Lando Norris. But here we go. He just, I don't know what happened. I feel like Hulkenberg was absolutely fine. Then the Alpine just stopped. Very unsure about what happened, but we've got wing damage now. Alex Albon with wing damage. We're going to keep him out though, because it is a sprint. We didn't want to ruin it that bad, but P15 we dropped down to, P16 we dropped down to, and then inevitably P17 we dropped down to. Esteban Ocon into the pit, Stroll running wide into turn 4. Not really going to be a worry or concern for us, but we're actually on to the final lap here. Alex Albon, like I said, we're on the mediums. We're actually 8 seconds behind the Haas, but here we go. It's Alex Albon down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, able to make that move super easy. We're absolutely pushing the life out of these mediums here. Are we able to make any sort of move here onto Nick de Vries? with only one corner to go. Is he going to send it? He does, down the inside of the final corner. And that's absolutely brilliant from Alex Albon. And he goes through. And there's actually yellow flags now because Théo Pourchaire has completely run out of fuel. He's completely run out of fuel and he is just sitting on the track. So you'd think, oh, disqualification. No, we don't do disqualifications here. As we're going to start P10 and P14 for the race because of some drivers' penalties. Softs, medium for this race. As we go on to 5 red lights here at the Qatar Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go here. Théo Pourchaire instantly losing position to Nico Hülkenberg and then instantly nearly to Piastri as well. We need to take advantage of this because we can't be having both Haas in the points. Piastri really fine. Pourchaire, Ocon also really battling with Alex Albon. Looks like Piastri is going to complete the move on Théo Pourchaire, and which means Lando is going to start giving some pressure. But it looks like Pourchaire has actually made the move back. And they're fighting will to will here as Alex Albon's looking to go down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda. This is absolutely brilliant stuff from Alex Albon. And look at this again. You can just see ahead of us there. Théo Pourchaire able to hold position for now against Oscar Piastri. Able to get that second gap to Oscar Piastri. And we have an issue here for George Russell, who is already behind us because he's serving a penalty. And he's just gone spinning like Pourchaire went spinning in Q1. Absolutely brilliant stuff, and it's an issue for Oscar Piastri now. And now he's gone spinning. What's going on here? Whether it's the tyres or the track, I don't know what it is. But the drivers are really struggling here. Obviously making our first stops already for Alex Albon and Théo Pourchaire. Théo Pourchaire actually a lot further up. At least 5-6 seconds ahead of us. But Albon can make a couple moves here. Gonna make the move down the inside of Oscar Piastri. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Made it look so easy. But Guan Yu Zhou's making it so difficult for Albon to make a move past, which is bringing Piastri back into it. Norris boxing now. But look, we're going to make the move. We've got the DRS. Easy as you like. And we actually go ahead of Lando Norris as well. Brilliant stuff from Alex Albon there. Able to get the undercut on Norris, but then actually he loses position very quickly as we come onto the last lap. 8 seconds ahead. It's just an absolute mess as Alex Albon tries to make the move on Yuki Tsunoda. We're loving the moves on the Alpha Tauris, and it's just so easy. He just made that look so easy. But yeah, we just didn't have the pace this race, which is unfortunate. But what's even more unfortunate is that the Haas of Kevin Magnussen is able to bring home at least a point for the Haas. Russell able to regather himself and take the P11. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to catch up to Kevin Magnussen. Had he not had that spin, maybe he would have had that P10 at least, possibly P9. But it's Théo Pourchaire. Currently P16. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Yuki Tsunoda here. 2 seconds, 1.9 seconds. Or to be fair, 1.7. The delta's going down. 1.3 seconds. We are catching, but will it be enough? I don't think so. With this last corner coming up now, I can guarantee you one more lap, and he would have had him. But it's P14, P16 for us in Qatar. We do lose a point to the Haas, unfortunately. But P11 is Alex Albon in the points, and P6 we stay, of course, in the championship for the constructors. But now we are on to the United States Grand Prix. So here we are then for the US Grand Prix. Side pods have been designed. They just need to be obviously made, which we'll get, I'm sure, a couple or a few ready. I have a feeling that I'm specifically only going to do research now for whenever we get these ATR periods, because I just feel like it would be pointless if we ended up just, just upgrading this car when I feel like P6 in the Constructors is more than confirmed now for us. We can just use the money just to invest in some research for the next season. But here we are for our first runs, P12, P17 so far in Q1. Improving in the first two sectors is Alex Albon, as you'd hope. Théo Pourchaire not improving at all in any sectors. Coming to the final corner now, Alex Albon here at the USA crosses the line. It's P10 for Alex Albon. Brilliant stuff from Alex Albon. P13 for Théo Pourchaire. And if you look down there, that's a Sergio Perez. He was really struggling to get any sort of pace. 1.1 seconds slower. But here we go. Second runs in Q2. Currently P13, P15. Alex Albon just unable to improve on his time. Théo Pourchaire improving a little bit on the first sector. Can he improve in the final sector? He improves a bit, but it's nowhere near enough. And we're going to start P13 and P15. And that's not including penalties. But here we are, coming up to the 5 red lights here at the Texas Grand Prix. Here we go, it's lights out and away we go for the sprint here in the USA. We're actually using the hards for the sprint, which some people might be thinking, what on earth is going on? But what's even more crazier is that we just overtook Sergio Perez on the hards as the Williams, when Perez was on the mediums, you know, in that Red Bull, and we just absolutely sent it down the inside of Kevin Magnussen. Absolutely brilliant start for Théo Pourchaire in that Williams. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But now it's just about maintaining this and pushing forward for Pierre Gasly. Hulkenberg currently P9. Just not what we want at all. So we're going to push with Théo Pourchaire, trying to make the most of this start. Alex Albon starting on the mediums here. It's crazy how we've made more of an influence with Théo Pourchaire on the hards, but absolutely nothing with Albon on the mediums. But here we go, yellow flags out. I think that's an issue for Théo Pourchaire and Nico Hulkenberg, because we're now into P10 and P13. We're going to have a little look here. It's Sergio Perez. Well, it's Sergio Perez who they're highlighting. Go around the outside, Nico Hulkenberg. Looks like he's picked up a little bit of damage there. And Nico Hulkenberg just sitting having a... I don't know if he's having a nap or something, but he's just chilling out enjoying the sun of the USA. So we're on to the last lap now. Théo Pourchaire P9 and is able to make that move onto Pierre Gasly. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Théo Pourchaire. What a sprint he's had. Alex Albon unable to show the same sort of pace, which is completely unrealistic to what's been happening all season. But Alex Albon now looking to make some sort of move on Lando Norris. Looking around the outside, isn't able to send it. Can he send down the inside here? No, he backs out of it. As you can see, it's a 1-2 for the sprint for the Ferraris there. But Théo Pourchaire looks like he's going to come home for a P9 as he comes across the final corner. Here we go to the final corner for Alex Albon. Looking around the outside, unable to make the move. And it's a P13 for Alex Albon. Unable to get any sort of point, at least for the race, for the sprint. But as you can see, they're medium, hard, medium for Alex Albon, and then medium, medium, hard for Théo Pourchaire. As we go on to the main race now. What a start this could be as we go to 5 red lights here. We're actually ahead of a Ferrari because of penalties. P7 Pourchaire, P11 Alex Albon. This is a massive chance for points. Big as ever for Théo Pourchaire. And there's Alex Albon looking to make the move already on Carlos Sainz. P10 so far, unless Sainz is able to come back through this corner, he's able to. And look at the speed of this Ferrari. It's absolutely... we will be there one day. One day we will be there. We will 100% be there. As Alex Albon is actually able to use his straight line speed and make the move completely on Carlos Sainz. That is absolutely brilliant from the Williams driver right there. But as you can see there, George Russell and Stroll ahead of us on the softs. Pretty much everyone else on the medium. I think there might have been AlphaTauri on the softs as well. But fastest lap somehow by second place after the first lap, only Alonso. But we actually lose position to Kevin Magnussen there, Théo Pourchaire. And then we just lose position to Vries. And then Sainz overtakes Porsche. It's just chaos. Perez on the softs, making the move on Porsche, P10. Then we drop to P11. And that's literally all down to the stats of Théo Porsche, which is a shame. It's actually such a shame. But he will get there. And it's just come up saying that Théo Porsche running wide on turn 4. I think I just got so frustrated about that I just completely ignored it. But with 3 laps to go, yes, 3 laps to go. That's just how boring this race ended up being. Théo Porsche just... Look at that, 16 seconds behind. But look, we've made one of the overtakes of the season here. Alex Albon down the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg not showing any fight. Just classy from Albon. Really showing his experience there. And yeah, as you can see, 10 seconds away from Magnussen, who isn't looking for points, which is brilliant. And Théo Porsche just nowhere to be found. 20 seconds behind Albon, who ends up crossing the line here for P12. But it is a shame. It is a shame. But once we get the quality in the drivers, then we should be getting points consistently. And hopefully we'll start achieving that next season. But he's still 21st. Logan Sargent still has more points, which is crazy. But yeah, 10 points ahead of Haas we are, in comparison to how we started the video at 8 points ahead. So we've made the improvement, but we're coming up to the final, I think, 3 or 4 races of the season. But if you like the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and ciao.